Hey, this is Brian with the Seat Shop, and today we're going to show you how to install a seat top cover on a Chevy 2000 through 2006 model for the Suburban Tahoe Yukon pickup. This particular seat is out of an 03 to 06 model. The 00 to 02 is very similar, only a couple differences with the stitching pattern, but the process of install is the exact same. I'm going to go ahead and run you through a couple of the tools that you'll need to do it. We got a couple flathead screwdrivers, we got a pair of scissors, pry tool. You don't have to have this, you can use a screwdriver, but it makes it a little easier if you got a pry tool. A regular socket wrench, razor blade, and you're going to need an 18mm socket. Now what we've done to get the seat to this stage, we pulled it out of the truck, we've taken the seat bottom off, and we've also undone the armrest. There's a clip on the inside of the frame that'll let this armrest release. There's a video on the website too that take you through the full details on how to get the clip off to get this armrest off. So we'll go and pull this off.
Alright, the next step is removing this seat belt just because it runs through the seat top cover. So we're just going to take an 18mm socket and just undo this bolt here. Once that's loose, just pull it off there. And Brian, give me a flathead.
Yeah, there we go.
There. And then there's a little trim piece here at the end of the seat belt where the seat belt goes into the seat top. There's nothing that really holds on. There's no screws or anything. Just take a flathead, get it just behind that, and go ahead and just pop it out. It'll just snap out.
A couple little plastic clips that line up with some holes in the frame. You'll see it when you pull it off.
There you go. All right, then the headrest is going to be next. There's going to be two plastic trim pieces at the base of the headrest posts. Just take you a flathead. Again, there's nothing in here that, no screw or anything. Just take the flathead, you're going to pop it off. You'll hear it click at the front, then come around to the back side and pop it up. The same thing on this other one.
Basically, it's a little color-coded piece of plastic that goes over the top piece. So you're popping the colored piece off. Once those are popped, you can flip them up and you'll see a little button you can push in. Once both buttons are pushed in, the headrest will lift off. Put these aside, you'll need these here in a little bit. Now, next step is where there's a long clip along the bottom of the seat. There's a big J clip, two little channels that interlock together. So we're going to undo that clip. Once that clip's undone, basically it's going to start unrolling, basically like a t-shirt. It's going to start pulling it off inside out and rolling it up. Best way to do this, take two flathead screwdrivers. You want to come at it from each end. Sometimes this can be the trickier part. Just kind of got to dig in there, kind of pry around until you get it to pop apart. If you get one end going, you can start to feed it up, pull it apart. There we go. Now it's started. There we go. Now that that's undone, there's a couple little black stud deals here that there's little Christmas trees. They'll pop in and out. That's when the pry tool comes in handy. We pull that piece off. Let's set that to the side. Hunter, get that one on that side. There's a cardboard backing that runs up on the inside of the seat. That's what the little plug is going into. Okay, now that that's separated, what we got to do is start to unroll the seat cover from the bottom up, just turning it inside out. For that, it's a little bit easier to have it on the ground. I'm going to throw it on the front of the bench here.
And now all these seam lines, just like the bottom, is going to be defined, or the definition actually comes from the Velcro holding it to the foam cushion. So what you want to do once you get the top, that clip release, is just reach your hand up underneath the cover and separate that Velcro from the Velcro on the foam cushion. Just be careful you're separating it right where your hand is instead of just yanking it so you don't yank that Velcro out of the foam cushion.
Alright, now we'll get some of it undone. We'll start turning it inside out and getting it to go.
It definitely helps to have two sets of hands when you're doing this.
And it's really tight getting it going. We get one corner going, then we'll start on the other.
Okay, I got mine.
Okay.
And again, since you're replacing the top, it's not a big deal if it tears. You may even start a little cut here, like if you're having a real struggle getting it off.
Okay, we gotta go around the airbag on the side. Now some seats will have the side airbag right here. On the factory cover, there's a couple little plastic clips on the inside of it, so it'll just pull off. When you pull it, just keep pulling it up, around over it. Screwdriver. Yep. Pull that plastic rim off. Okay, there we go. Now, keep coming up.
And then just stretch the leather around those two headrests. Go ahead and turn the frame. Right here, you can just stretch the leather around those two headrest brackets.
Okay. We'll feed the seatbelt back through the top.
While he's doing that, I'm going to explain about the heated seats. If you have the heated seat option, notice how this heating element will stay glued to the foam cushion. All of our covers do work with the heated seats, so it's not a big deal if you have those, but you won't have to fight it inside the cover. It'll just remain glued on the foam cushion.
On a side note, before we install the top cover, I want to show you one part of the cover that sometimes comes different. This right here, this is where the armrest sits. There's a Velcro strip that's attached to the foam cushion. Corresponding on the cover, you get the other Velcro. Sometimes they come with, the factory seat will come with a metal bar down the side, and there'll be along this, instead of Velcro, it'll have a plastic clip that'll clip onto the bar. Now there's no way of knowing which configuration your seat was manufactured with. The majority of the ones we've seen have the Velcro, so all the ones we sell are going to have the Velcro. And we'll actually ship you this part of the Velcro with it. If you take your cover off and see that you happen to have that bar, you can disregard the bar, go ahead and take you some adhesive and glue this strip onto your foam. That way this will anchor on there tight.
Alright, now the only cut you have to make before you actually get the cover installed onto the foam cushion, all the other cuts will be made after we get it installed, but the only cut you'll have to make is the one for the seat belt, and that goes up here in the top. The easiest way and the best way to do that is flip the cover right side out, so the leather's showing. We always ship the covers inside out like this, that way if you're using a knife to open the box, you're not going to kind of slice through your leather. So go ahead and grab this and just turn this right side out.
There's going to be a little chalk drawing outline on that top portion, kind of give you a good area of where to cut. You'll make some smaller cuts, just enough to feed the seatbelt assembly through there. And once you got it completely installed, you'll come back at the very end and make some final trim cuts around, so you can make sure that you can pop this back on. You'll have to trim it out a little bit, and you can see where the places it anchors onto the seatbelt assembly, where those go, so you can make sure you're cut out so it's clear of those, so they can snap back on.
All right. Let's see. Now we got this flip out. I start with a razor blade. You'll see a little chalk mark. It could be real faint, but at any rate, you're just going to cut definitely not the whole width of that. You don't need much of a cut. So here, I'm going to lay this flat. It may be hard for you to see, but I'm just going to take a razor blade just to start it, and then I'll finish it with the scissors. I'll come right in the middle here, and I'm just going to go like that.
A lot of times I prefer to just use scissors. Hunter likes to use the blade to get a cut and then trim with scissors. It's kind of however you feel more comfortable doing. It's kind of either way. You can do it either way.
So once I have a little cut like this, there's, remember that foam backing in there? That's when I come back with the scissors, and I'll just make a little cut in there, and then I can finish the width of that cut. The risk of the razor blade is having it slip and cutting a little bigger, but that's just what I'm used to. And you don't need much because all those parts will stretch through here. So that's all I'm going to cut right there, and we should be able to get all the parts through there.
The final cut will be a considerable amount more than that, but that's enough to get this thing through, so we can go ahead and pull it on.
Okay, go ahead and turn it back inside out. is what I'll do is flip this part back inside of the cover. That just gives you a good starting point. You'll be able to put it down there. And then grab, remember that cut we made? We'll grab this, and I got my fingers inside, and I'm just going to feed it. Pull that through that cut. Grab the next piece. It's a little easier to do one piece at a time. And the last plastic trim piece. Alright. And then, like I said, we'll start with that seatbelt part.
Basically, you'll push down both sides of it, left and right hand side of that arm of the little post where the seatbelt is, so that it feels.
Get it set.
That piece up.
And then he can roll this and just look, yeah, just line it up with the other side.
All right, now before we pull it completely on, we're gonna, when we took the armrest cover off, there's a little clip on the inside of the frame. When you check out the video, you'll see that clip. You want to go ahead and reset that clip before you put the cover completely on. Otherwise, you'll put the armrest back in and it won't attach. So, and I've done it a million times where I pulled the cover completely on and I forgot this clip and I got to start over again. So,
and I can turn this right inside here is where that armrest sets. There you go.
Put the rubber band on. Alright, now when we push the armrest back through, it'll self-lock back into position.
And it's definitely, if you're replacing the top, it's definitely easier to put that clip back in once you know you don't have any top on there. Now we're just going to roll it down. Here you go. Alright, there we go.
Okay, now
let's get it back up on the bench and we're going to reset the Velcro. Hey, we're just about out of time on this video. Please check out part 2 of this video where we're going to finish up installing the cover and making all the correct cuts. If you have additional questions and would like to talk to one of the guys at the shop, please scroll to the top of this page and click on our username, The Seat Shop. This link will take you to our seller information page where our contact information can be found.